welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So, today I'm going to be talking about the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer that just dropped today, actually. And, there's been some people already talking about it. Obviously, it's all over the net. I've seen a few postings, I've seen it on Twitter, and I thought I just want to give my 2 cents in it. Because, this is a movie that, people like me have been waiting for a very long time. And I think, anybody that's watched the Ghostbusters in the past probably saying the same thing. Now, we did get the reboot, and yes, there's a lot of talk about that and whether that was, a good movie or a bad movie, and if people hated it or loved it. Personally, for me, I thought that was all we were going to get from that point on. I never expected this to happen. And so, I took it in and I didn't mind it. It's not too bad. Sure, the jokes were a little bit off, too much jokes, bad jokes, I would have to say. The fart jokes and all that. I think it could have done better on that. But we're not here to talk about that movie. We're here to talk about Afterlife, which is a interesting. I don't know why they chose that tagline. I'm sure there will be some kind of reasoning behind it, or maybe they were just trying to show that this is after the Ghostbusters time. But from what we understand so far, we know that they're still alive. Well, all of them except for Egon, of course. We all know Harold Ramis passed away a few years ago, so there's no way he could have been in this movie without having to try and pull that Princess Leia stuff that they did in Star Wars, but that would just not happen. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I went into this trailer wondering what direction this movie was going to go in, because previously all we saw was the car. They showed the car. It was like a spoiler, and they just showed the car in a farmhouse, and people were questioning, was that farmhouse going to be Ray? Because in the movie The Ghostbusters, the first movie, there is talk about him getting a mortgage on a house, and he said his parents left him that house. Didn't specify if it was like a farmhouse or anything like that. So you start to wonder, is that Ray's farm, his family farm? But from what you get in this video, there is a scene, there is somewhere where I'm trying to find it here. Um, you see the girl, the obviously the main character. Um, she's looking through the closet and finds the flight suits, which has Spengler's name on it, so it's Egon. You see a whole bunch of suits, so they only show the one that says Spengler's name. So you don't know if all the suits are there, all the other Ghostbusters are there, if those are all just Egon's. But we're starting to get an idea that this is probably Egon's house. Now, there is another talk about the idea that grandfather passed down this house. And so is Egon the grandfather? Because also the girl says that her father is gone as well, or it's just her mother. So was Egon her father, or was Egon the grandfather? I mean, we're about 30 plus years here into the future from the original ones. So it's hard to say. I guess they might clear that up in the movie, but I'm kind of excited, and you can kind of see when they do show they show the girl a few times. She kind of has that Egon look to her, so that was one thing I kind of noticed. I'm like, she's got the glasses, she's got the curly kind of hair, so she kind of looks like she could have Egon in her. So we'll have to find out if she's a relative of Egon. They didn't specify it in the trailer now. I mean, it could possibly be that it's just somebody who's been collecting the Ghostbusters stuff. We don't know. Now, I just want to move into, where are the Ghostbusters at this point? Because where are they going to be putting them? Because somebody also makes a comment in the trailer that there hasn't been ghosts in like 30 years. So obviously they would have disbanded, because you saw that happen in in the sequel, the original sequel, where it's 5 years later, no ghost activity, and they literally were falling apart. They were doing Ghostbuster parties. They were not Ghostbusters. And then, of course, yeah, what's his face? Vigo comes along, and the pink slime and all that. Now they're Ghostbusters again. But again, at the end of that movie, they defeat Vigo. Probably no ghosts since that point. So you got to imagine all of them have moved on. Just like in the second one, they would all have their own jobs. They're all doing their own thing. They're gonna probably make some reference to Egon passing away. which is, you know, natural. We're going to have to accept that. And that's about it. I mean, so my question, you know, after watching this trailer is this kind of feels like it's not really it, it's not really a direct sequel to the movie, but more like a side story. This feels like it's in the same world. So are the Ghostbusters just going to kind of make a cameo appearance, kind of like they did in the Girl Ghostbusters, where obviously they weren't playing their original characters. They just kind of showed up, and you know, like Ray was a cab driver, and Peter Venkman was this doctor dude, and you know, like they were all just different characters, but they showed up in the movie. It seems like from when I watched this whole trailer, obviously they don't show any of the Ghostbusters, so perhaps these main characters are what the movie's really going to focus around. Like they show the teacher here, and he's got the ghost trap from the kid, and he seems to know what it is. He seems to remember. He would have been a kid probably when you know the Ghostbusters were a thing. So, but I'm sure he's learned about their past. So it's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go. Now, the other thing that's interesting is the music and stuff like that. I found this trailer to be a little bit darker. There was some of those sound effects in there that were kind of dark, and it seemed like a little bit more of a serious movie. Like they weren't cracking jokes. It wasn't about humor. It was like literally just like jumping into a story. It almost felt more like a drama. And a lot of people are kind of saying, you know, this is kind of like Stranger Things meets, you know, Ghostbusters. And that can make sense because the kid from Stranger Things is in it. They do show him a few times in there. I don't know if I can find him in the clip, but there's a few scenes where you see him in there. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense. And the whole bicycle riding scene where the kids are riding around. Here's another clue that has to do with Egon. They show the Petri dish. And if you remember in the first movie, Egon likes to collect more spores, mold, and fungus. So this could be what that is. That's his collection. Who knows how long it's been sitting down there, and what kind of nasties are sitting in those Petri dishes. Probably they look like they're all pretty dusty and old and dirty. Probably the best part though is when they show the car. Like that was just amazing when, you know, the kid takes it for a test drive. Now the idea that the car would actually start up and run was kind of a little bit off, you know, for me. The fact that it would, you know, still be functioning. Car batteries and stuff, they tend to flatten, and you know, I have an old car myself, a '83 DeLorean, and it just sits for like 6 months, and I need to like get it a boost and you know, do a little bit of work on it before I can get it working. But I get it. I mean, they had to get it for the movie. They had to make it look like it. I always did wonder though, what happened to the original Ghostbuster car. Now I know in reality it fell apart. In the real car that they used in the movie fell apart during the second movie, but they don't really explain in the movie sense where the original car went. You just see them using the second car after they become Ghostbusters again. And they don't really mention where the original car went. So now we kind of know it went to a farmhouse, and it probably Egon just kept it and worked on it himself, which is a little bit weird because he wasn't really the mechanic. That was more of Ray's area. So maybe Ray came over and helped out. But anyways, yeah, I kind of like the direction they're going in. Like I said, it kind of feels more like a side movie of just people finding the Ghostbusters equipment, and they're probably going to make reference to them. They'll probably hunt them down. They're probably going to want to find the Ghostbusters. They show some paranormal activity going on. They even show this clawfoot. I can't remember where it was in the clip. It was like somewhere in the middle, but it's very quick. You see this claw come down onto the car or something, and it looks like the dogs from Zool from the original one. Kind of hard to tell when you see the foot, but something is definitely going on. Maybe Gozer's coming back. Maybe Zool's making a return. That actually might be kind of fun. Anyways, yeah, we're just going to have to wait. This is just the first trailer. I'm sure they're going to give us many more. Curious to see how they're going to do the Ghostbusters in here. Are they going to suit up? Are they going to actually come into action? Are these kids going to be a part of it? lots and lots of questions. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I always love to hear your opinions too. Throw it down there, let me know. And we'll just wait and see what happens. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.